What's going on, you guys? It's me, Hiram, coming back at you with another video. Unfortunately, this video is not to talk about a video that I had previously recorded about 3 years ago. There will be an update on that soon, so watch out for that. But I did want to talk today about one of the most unprecedented things that has ever happened. I've never seen this in my lifetime, and that is the dip in the oil price. Now, as many of you guys know, my family call West Texas home. And West Texas is like the mecca for the oil industry. Okay, we live smack dab in the middle where all of the oil is happening and being produced and exported. So when this news hit, I really wanted to try to understand it, but many times I find myself reading journalists, papers, and quotes from executives and economists, and I understand nothing. So I did a little bit of more due diligence on what all this means and what this means for our family, and I kind of want to share this with you now. Well, really, all of this first started when Saudi Arabia and Russia began to have an oil price war, where they both rose up production and brought down the price and try to see who can have the lowest price of oil per barrel. When that happened, we all realized that that was going to hurt the economy. So to be honest with you, Donald Trump actually acted as the parent of two fighting siblings and tried to work out a deal between both of them. And he actually ended up working up a deal. And that deal was to reduce production globally for everybody. Although that was going to hurt the economy, obviously, it was still going to save a lot of jobs. That deal, though, is not really going to kick in until the 1st of May. So for the time being right now, globally, all these companies have been boosting up production and pumping away as normal. And what that causes is an oversupply of oil. Now they don't even know where to put it. I'm hearing on CNN Business that oil is being stored on boats because they just don't have anywhere else to put it anymore. Because there's an oversupply of oil, companies are pretty much forced to stop producing and to just shut in a lot of their wells. And when companies are forced to stop producing and shut their wells, they lose money. They don't make any money. And when that happens, well, the company faces danger of bankruptcy or going out of business. So that really brings me to my next point. Because a lot of businesses are shutting down and a lot of people are staying home and not traveling, there's not so much use for oil anymore. Jets and planes aren't using so much fuel. Automobiles are staying in the driveways and not being filled up. So the demand for oil gets even lower. It's really a double whammy here. And that's what's hurting, and that's what's causing the price of oil per barrel to go as low as it is. We were all thinking that maybe the bottom was $20 a barrel, and maybe it might go through $15. But for it to go down to $10 a barrel was almost unfathomable, just because that hasn't happened in such a long time, in decades. But yet we saw it today, and it hit $0, and it even went into the negatives. So I don't know exactly what all that means for oil companies, but I do know that many oil companies that already have way too much debt, even before all of this happened, and now are losing more money, face danger of bankruptcy and going out of business. On one of the articles that I read, they were saying that maybe the oil giants such as ExxonMobil and Chevron might look into a lucrative opportunity to acquire some of these businesses and companies that were in trouble. But they said that even they are taking precaution because they just don't know what's going to happen, and they want to first make sure that they're good to go with everything, and with the economy being so low and the price of oil being so low, before they even think about buying any other companies or acquiring them. So what does all this really mean for me and for you and all of our families? Does it even matter? Is it something that we can just kind of ride the wave and think that everything's going to be okay sooner or later? Or is it something that we should really plan for? Because, again, we haven't seen this, at least I haven't seen this in my lifetime. So why would I even think about preparing for something like this? Well, here are some points that I wrote down that might be useful for me and for you. And let me know in the comment section below if you find these useful or if you find some other points useful to yourself that you might want to share with all of us. First, if you haven't seen any downsizing or any cuts in your pay or your hours or per diem, consider yourself blessed. But also, keep in mind that those things might be happening in your company. All right. And so, in order to help you keep your ducks in a row and be more stable during these times that are very uncertain, one of the points that I wrote down is that you need to have saved up at least 3 months of expenses in your savings account. At least 3 months. Usually it's 3 to 6 months, depending on how much of your expenses you have, and also depending on the stability of your job, which right now, if everything is unstable, you should really try and save all the way up to 6 months of expenses in your savings account. So what does that even mean? 6 months of expenses or 3 months of expenses? What that means is you need to be writing down everything that you spend in a month. All right. And those are the necessity expenses like your mortgage payment, your car payment, your utility bills, your grocery bills. Sum all that up. All right. Sum all that up into how much you spend in a month and then times it times 3. All right. So for example, if my expenses, if I added up my mortgage and my car payments and my grocery bills and all of that, and it totaled out to $3,000 a month, I'm going to times that times at least 3 months. It's going to come out to $9,000. All right. So what is suggested, and it's not just by me, it's suggested by a lot of others, is that you save up $9,000 and not even touch it. Okay. Don't even think about spending that money. Okay. Because that money is going to be there for you in case you lose your job. In case you lose your job, you can have that money there to help support you. Yes, there is unemployment and there might be stimulus checks coming, but it's always good for yourself to be self-reliant and to keep yourself afloat, to know that you can keep you and your family stable even during times of uncertainty and not wait for a handout or for any outside help. And that's actually, to be honest with you, why so many companies are in trouble, is because they didn't have so much money saved up for times like these, and now they're having to cut pay, cut hours, furlough employees, or let them go. And that's all due to not having enough in reserves. So you as an individual or as a family unit need to have this money saved up in reserves. It is such a great peace of mind, I'm telling you right now, to have this money saved up just in case something bad happens. All right. The next thing that I wrote down that you need to be doing is make sure that you're paying off your debts. Okay. If you still have a job and you're still good, you shouldn't be thinking about getting help from your mortgage lender or any other lender and try and see if you can get away with not paying a payment. Make all your payments, guys, and work on paying off your debts, especially if you still have your job. So some of your money should be going into savings. Some of your money should be going on to paying off this debt. And to be honest with you, that shouldn't even be that hard, because with a lot of things being closed down and not a lot of things happening in West Texas now, it shouldn't be hard to not spend your money, all right? Now, this leads me to my next point. A lot of you guys have been interested in investing. A lot of you guys are in good shape, that have your reserves, have at least 3 to 6 months of expenses saved up and are good on paying off debts. You guys are interested in the stock market and in investing money so that it can multiply for you, and especially during this time where a lot of stocks are low, especially oil companies. So the thing that I advise there is that, again, make sure you take care of your other stuff like your emergency fund and debts, make sure you have all those ducks in a row before you even think about investing anywhere else. All right, but many of you guys are wondering, and many of you guys are in a good position. Many of you guys have already saved up money. That money can go into the stock market. Many of you guys already have 401ks. And in those 401ks, part of your paycheck is going into a retirement fund that's basically invested in the stock market. All right. And then if you guys are still interested in investing further into individual stocks or different things like that, you can download the investing app Robinhood, or I prefer Webull. All right. And if you click down below on the description, there's a link to Webull, and you can get two free stocks when you invest at least $100 into the account. So that's a very good way. And what I just suggest there when you invest in individual stocks is just make sure you do your research. All right, and just don't be throwing money at a company that might be going bankrupt. All right, do your research on the Webull app. When you click on a certain company, it'll give you news articles concerning the company and how they're doing. So I suggest you read those articles and get familiar with the companies. Also, I suggest you only invest in companies that you truly believe in and that you use. All right. For example, I'm a user of AT&T, and so therefore I invest in AT&T and not Verizon. I have flown with Delta Airlines, and therefore I'm investing in Delta Airlines. I don't know. That's just the way I'm doing it. I'm just trying to be safe with the money that I'm investing. And so that's what I'm doing. A lot of oil companies are also really low on their stocks right now, on their value. And so you can pick them up for maybe a good price. Again, I suggest you just do your research. I'm just a guy on YouTube. All right. I'm not a certified public accountant. I'm not a CPA. If you're really concerned about where to put your money, contact a CPA, and they'll be more better fit to help you on where to put that money. But those are the points that I have for you guys today. If there are any other points that you guys want to mention, drop them down in the comment section below. Let me know if there's any questions or concerns that I can maybe update on a later video. And I think that's it, you guys. Thank you very much for staying tuned, and we'll talk to you next time.